Hasselblad 907X, here I am once again, but this time I'm using a Leica M mount lens, not made by Leica, but made by 7 Artisans. This is an affordable but very cool lens. It's a 35mm f1.4, again Leica M mount, but I'm able to attach it to the Hasselblad because I have an adapter that allows me to adapt Leica M mount lenses. Now, because of the size of the sensor, and because these type of lenses are not made for this size of sensor, you will get vignetting on the edges and the sides, easily cropped out unless you like that effect. Now, I did a video on the X1D2 using M mount lenses, but this lens is really cool. It looks really classic. It has a little bit of swirl, some pretty amazing three-dimensionality and depth, and I just want to share some thoughts of this lens on the 907X. I'll share a few photos with you here. Now, this first one with the cat, look at the three-dimensionality, look at the depth. The subject is in focus, the subject is sharp, that is the cat. And look at the way the depth of field blurs that background, or I should say, look at the way the background blurs from that shallow depth of field. This was shot at f1.4 on this medium format sensor. So this is going to give us a wider field of view than 35. It's going to give us a more shallow depth of field than f1.4, all because of the size of this sensor that this lens is used on. Now, I did crop the edges, and that's the beauty of this 50 megapixel sensor on the 907. You can adapt many classic lenses to it. You can adapt classic Hasselblad lenses. You can adapt Leica lenses, Canon lenses. You can adapt Nikon F lenses. Something like the Noct Nikkor would be pretty cool on the 907X. Now, of course, these are manual focus only. You set the aperture with the aperture dial on the lens. You manually focus, and the cool thing is with the 907X, you just tap that screen on the back twice, and it gives you the expanded blown up view, making it very easy to manually focus. You can see the color performance here, the sharpness of the subjects, and the way the backgrounds are extremely blown out and even give you some of that swirl. Now, this is not going to be an everyday lens by any stretch of the imagination unless you're really hooked on that kind of look. Something like the 45 f3.5, the XCD lens that Hasselblad makes, is going to give you a sharper, more consistent look across the frame. Where this lens from 7 Artisans is meant to compete against lenses like the Leica 35-1.4, but I would say the 7 Artisans version looks a lot like the classic Leica 35 f1.4, which is actually highly sought after on the used market and very expensive. Now, the packaging for this 7 Artisans lens is exquisite. A leather pouch, a deluxe box. The lens feels really good in the hand, and I'll be honest with you, it feels just as good as Leica lenses that I've held in my hands. As far as build goes, it feels really good. You're not going to have the same quality of glass in this lens as the Leica, but you're also not paying $6,000 for the 7 Artisans lens. This is a lens that will work well on a Leica M camera. You can adapt it to Sony, you can adapt it to Canon RF, and as I've done here, I've adapted it to the Hasselblad XCD lens mount, and with some pretty cool, ethereal, interesting results. You guys know I'm a fan of unique, you guys know that I'm a fan of different, and this is a lens that I'll pull out every now and again if I want that special kind of look. Again, you will get some vignetting on the edges, you will get some blurring in the corners, so you're gonna wanna crop those out if you're using it on the X1D, X1D2, or the 907X. So I just wanted to make this short little video to share with you this lens I'm playing around with right now. I think it's actually really a bargain for what it is. If you want to find out more details of the lens, I have a link in the video description below where you can check it out. But other than that, it's a really fun lens and really cool to shoot. So that was it. If you like my videos, thumbs up and subscribe. I will have more on the way, and I will see you next time. Bye.